I was overlooked and mistreated my entire life because of my golden child sister, but on my wedding day, I finally got the sweet revenge I'd been waiting for. I spent my entire childhood living in the shadow of my parents' so-called golden child, my younger sister. From the earliest memories I have, they believed every accusation she made against me without question. If she blamed me for breaking something, I was immediately punished. If I proved her wrong, she would receive a stern warning at most, and I'd still catch flack for causing a disturbance. Birthdays were especially painful. My cake always had to be her favorite flavor, even though my parents insisted they had no idea I hated it. Every gift and every outing was hers, even when the occasion was meant to celebrate me. As children, my sister usually ignored me. But during adolescence, her frustration poured out as cruelty. She'd lost her friends, whether they drifted away or simply couldn't stand her mean streak, I never knew, and redirected her anger onto me. My parents proudly announced her achievements to anyone who would listen, but never acknowledged her problems. In contrast, they turned my every flaw into teasing fodder. I discovered she had no friends only because we attended the same school, and I noticed she always wandered the halls alone, while I fit in easily with classmates. When she realized I was popular and she wasn't, she escalated her attacks. She began accusing me and even my closest friends of all manner of misdeeds. My parents, taking her word as gospel, forbade me from socializing. "You're trying to leave us?" they'd scold. "Why can't you just be like your sister and enjoy family time?" My salvation was my extended family, who lived nearby and welcomed me warmly. At one gathering, they invited me along to an outing I desperately wanted to attend. When asked why I couldn't go, my childhood honesty betrayed me. "I'm not allowed to have friends," I blurted. "My sister has none." The adults were horrified and later confronted my parents. I was grounded for a month, but afterward granted some freedom, worth the temporary punishment. In the fallout, my sister demanded a transfer to a new school. My parents agreed, despite the extra cost. She found new friends there, but never lost her taste for tormenting me. Their light teasing, her friends coming over to bully me, was always dismissed by my parents as harmless fun. I stopped inviting anyone to our home. Instead, I clung to my cousins, who treated me with kindness. My first boyfriend found out just how toxic things had become. Although I begged my parents not to insist on a home visit, they forced him to come over. My sister, dressed provocatively, threw herself at him, praising herself and denigrating me. He fled in disgust, and she spun the story to our parents, claiming he'd tried to flirt with her and she'd nobly refused for my sake. Naturally, they believed her. This pattern repeated again and again, each boyfriend accused of betraying me, each accusation accepted without question. In their eyes, I just couldn't pick a decent partner. By late high school, I'd learned to embrace casual flings rather than relationships. No point bringing anyone home to be slandered. When my sister graduated, she quietly matriculated into a mediocre college without scholarship support, an achievement celebrated with fanfare in our home. My own excellent grades, conversely, were met with indifference. "You always get A's, what's there to brag about?" they'd say whenever I earned honors. Still, I felt a pang of relief when my sister left for university, believing her absence would free me from daily torment. But she returned home every other weekend, and every visit brought new headaches, missing possessions, fresh accusations, more punishments, and unyielding curfews. Then came our graduations. One April afternoon, my mother sat me down and announced that, since they were covering my sister's tuition, there was no money left for mine. My path would be straight into the workforce, unless I agreed to delay college until my sister finished, at which point they might reconsider. I asked about student loans. "Yes, except no," my mother shot back. "We'll decide if it's worth going into debt for your education." With no expectations left, I quietly accepted. But I'd already prepared. With friends scarce, I'd spent my free time studying. When scholarship offers arrived, I poured my heart into essays and applications and won a full ride to a respectable university. As planned, I posted the news on social media, gushing gratitude to my parents for funding my education. This public thanks meant they couldn't refuse without answering to family. For an awkward moment, they boasted of my accomplishment. Then my sister got wind of it and they recanted. Are you sure you want to go? Your sister isn't doing well academically, and since she's smarter than you, you'll suffer. I held firm. I was going. College became my liberation. I visited home only on holidays and kept my personal life private. My sister dropped out after a single semester. No celebration for her, of course, and returned home to live rent-free, under my mother's wing at her company. Ego intact, she paraded her big sister status as she'd always done. Around then, I met my husband. He is everything I'm not, quick-witted, unafraid of confrontation, and relentless when wronged. I'm the type who mulls over a clever retort for days. He fires off comebacks in seconds. He insists on drama, for the right reasons, and plans elaborate counterstrikes. When our engagement announcement went live, my parents demanded to meet him. I considered refusal, but my husband had already anticipated disaster. He packed a hidden recorder and walked into that meeting ready to capture every word. He came back elated. They want to pay for our wedding, if your sister walks down the aisle in a bridal gown first. He pressed play. With his evidence in hand, we plotted our perfect revenge. Over months, we feigned gratitude and duplicitous confusion. In tastings, they always chose the most expensive menu. We, reluctantly, accepted. With photographers and florals, they kept saying, "Don't worry about cost, it's for you." On the absurd dress they picked, bland, ill-fitting, we agreed, by text, proof of my so-called neuroticism, then quietly declined in person. We left no written record of any conversation about my sister walking first. Every discussion was verbal or conducted through me, preserving the illusion of my irrationality. Meanwhile, my husband and I laughed at how our parents thought they were masterminding the perfect surprise. On the wedding day, the plan was simple. When my sister sneaked into process and I came in last, my father would be too late to stop her. Instead, as Dad signaled our bridesmaids to start, they followed my cue to text me, "Time to go." I entered alone. Bewildered, he stepped aside. My sister called. I answered on speakerphone. "You and he aren't supposed to be here," she wailed. The room erupted in gasps. Our discreet security guard blocked her with a firm, "Wrong venue, you'll have to check your invite." Guests murmured. My parents bolted, trying to salvage their scheme. I walked down the aisle past whispers and confusion, tears genuine in my eyes as I reached my husband. He comforted me with a grin, earned after years of endurance. We were married without further interruption. Videos and eyewitness testimonies later confirmed the details. My parents' futile threats, my sister's tantrum on the floor, and my husband's denials of involvement. Without proof, their accusations collapsed. One by one, they were escorted out as guests rallied behind us. We refused their offer to buy our plane tickets, no risk of interference. Since then, they've tried to contact me. I've ignored their calls. My sister's furious messages, accusing my husband of betrayal, blaming me for her humiliation, are screenshots in our family group chat, where relatives sided with us. Peace finally reigned. Why did they treat me so badly? I've wondered that my whole life. My best guess, I was an unplanned pregnancy, the unexpected second child after years of longing for my sister. Maybe I was resented from the start. It doesn't change the fact that everything they did was unwarranted. But finally, after decades of being dismissed and belittled, I got to see them taste chaos, and it was the sweetest justice of all.